Hello and welcome to Robotics for All's online Scratch curriculum. This is week 1 of 8 weeks in this entire curriculum, and you'll be learning how to use Scratch, which is an online coding platform. And the way this will work week by week is it will start by a video lesson like what I'm about to do right here, and then you'll meet up with your teacher online, and the teacher will teach you the concepts in review. Then you'll have homework, which will usually be a project, and then you'll meet again at the end of the week, and then you'll review your projects and talk to some other students to see what they did. So we're just getting started here, so open up some sort of web browser. This could be Chrome, this could be Safari, Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, Firefox, whatever it is, open it up, and this could be on your tablet or your computer like I'm on. And then once you're there, enter the URL on the top here. You want scratch.mit.edu right there. So once you've entered that in, scratch.mit.edu, hit return, and this will bring you to this page right here. So over the 8 weeks, you'll be creating programs and saving them, so you will need to create a Scratch account. And to do that, we go click here, join Scratch. So you're going to create a username. This could be whatever you want, but it's like it says here, do not use your real name. So I'm going to use Robotics for All 123. And then create a password. Make sure that this is a password that you can remember. And if you think you will forget your username and password, take a piece of paper and write it down. So I'm just going to use this password as an example, but don't use this password. This is a bad password. 123456. But generally don't use that password. This is one of the most common passwords. So don't use this password. Come up with your own. And if you think you'll forget, go ahead and write it down. So click next. What country do you live in? Put whatever country you live in. You'll probably be United States of America. It's right on the top, and UK is also right on the top. So click that and then hit next. Do not put in your actual birth month and birth year. This is your personal information that you do not want to put in. Just put in something like not too far away from what your actual birth month and birth year is. So let's say you're born in April 2005. Then you can put in, maybe through March 2006. So just put in something that's close to your birthday. We don't want to tell them too much personal information. So hit next, and then choose your gender. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to say prefer not to say, but you put in whatever you want, or you can also hit prefer not to say. And email address, only put in your own email address or your parents' email address if they told you it was okay, if your parent told you it was okay to do that. Otherwise, if your parent did not tell you to put in your own email address or your parents' email address, put student@roboticsforall.net. Okay? And don't check this box. I think that email will get a lot of emails. So once you're done with that, click create your account. And then get started. Let's go get started. And now you're in your account and you can see your sign-ins, and now you can save your projects. So we're going to create a new program here. So to do that, you click on create, which is right up here. So you click create, and it's creating project. And this is the screen we'll be using for the next 8 weeks. This is the Scratch screen. You'll be using this for your next 8 weeks, and this will be everything here you'll learn. So we're going to start by titling this program. And to change your program title, you click right up here where it says Untitled, and then you delete what's in there. And let's just say Program 1 for this first program. So now, fortunately, Scratch allows us to automatically save the program, so you don't need to click Save all the time. But when you want to access your previously saved programs, you click this button up here, and then you'll see all your programs in here. Right now I only have one, but as the weeks go on, hopefully you build up more things in here. Let's go back. And loading project. So like I said, I want you to follow along with this video. So while I'm doing this, I also want you to use on your own computer or your tablet. I want you to be doing exactly what I'm doing so you can learn what I'm doing. We're going to start by introducing what a sprite is. So a sprite is not the soda, and in this case it's whatever object we have in here, and in this case this is the cat. And there are many sprites that we can choose from. So the sprite is going to be the object that we're going to be programming to move around and so forth. This will make a little bit more sense later, but right now this is the one sprite that we have right here as the cat. So you can change the position of this sprite by going to the X and Y, and changing the X and Y. And the Scratch template has negatives and positive Y's, so it can go from, so let's say like negative 100 will be all the way over there, and positive 100 is over here. And I'll show you a way later if you get confused about kind of this whole coordinate plane system. But as you see right here, you can also change the name of the sprite. So let's call this sprite cat, because it is a cat. And you can also change the size of it. So right now it's size 100, we can say size 300. It's a pretty big cat. Or if you want a really tiny cat, we can do like size 10. And now you can barely see the cat, it's just right there. So I'm going to put it back to size 100 so it's easy to see. And the direction is the direction it's pointed in. Scratch has a really good template here. It shows you which direction pointed. You can either just use this to turn, or you can try to, memorize what those numbers mean. 90 will mean face right, minus 90 will mean face left, 0 is face up, and all the way down here, which is 180, is face down. So you can either use this, or you can just, enter in a number like this, like minus 90 will be face that way, but let's have it face right here, so 90. And here you can make the cat invisible, you can make it visible. So obviously I want to show you how to do this, so we're going to make it visible, but you can change whatever you want here. So you can also have more sprites, and you can add a sprite by clicking choose a sprite. And here you can upload your own sprite. So if you want to make some sort of thing that you want to upload in here, like an image, you can always put in your own sprite. You can have a surprise sprite. That's just a random object that they chose. Or you can paint your own sprite. I'm not going to do it right now, but you could draw your own sprite. That's something else you can do right here. And then you can also just choose a sprite from all the default things they have. And as you can see, they have a lot of things you can choose from, like cars, animals, all sorts of things in here which you can choose from, but by default it is going to be the cat. Look at all the letters here. So there's a lot of really cool things that they have over here for you to choose from. So to get rid of a sprite, we just hit this trash box up here, delete, and then we're back to it. And let's go over here to code. And here, as you can see from above here, here's the costume. So here's where you can maybe change the color of this if you want to edit the color of this. We're not really going to do that right now, but you can play around with this if you want to change the colors of the cat or whatever sprite you want to do. That's up here in costumes. So let's go back to code. And something else to note is that you can also have multiple sprites within the same one. So let's say we want to add another sprite. You can go choose a sprite. Let's do bananas. Sure. So you can have multiple sprites within the one screen, but for now we're just going to have one. So I'm going to delete the bananas. And now the next thing we're going to talk about is the stage, or the background, or the backdrop. And right now the backdrop is just a white thing, and that's pretty boring. So let's go ahead and change it. So to change the backdrop, you click on this button right here. It's right next to the choose a sprite one, and you can either upload your own, just like you can upload your own sprite. You can choose a random backdrop. You click it again, it'll be something different. Or you can make your own, you can paint your own. You can go into here, you can make your own backdrop, or you can choose from what they have. And you can see they have a lot of different backdrops, like baseball, canyon, hill, jungle, and all sorts of things. So I actually encourage everyone who's not very familiar with the coordinate plane system to choose this one here. It's called the XY grid. And the XY grid kind of shows you the system here, where this is 180, this is the position is 180. So if we go back to our cat, as you can see here, then you know, okay, if I make X 240, the cat will all the way be right there. It already shows you where it needs to be. So I recommend actually making your stage like this. This is probably the easiest. Unless you're really familiar with this whole system of the locations, I think this backdrop is probably the easiest for now. But you can always change the backdrop right here, as I know there'll be some homework assignments later this week where it will ask you to choose like a baseball or some sort of thing. So that's how you change it. And another thing to note is that you can code your backdrop. Like this will be in later weeks, but all these things here is where you can add code to your backdrop. But for today, we're not going to be coding the backdrop. We're just going to be coding our sprite. So let's get going. So today we're going to cover all the motion blocks in one control block. And let's start with the first motion block. Move 10 steps is the first motion block right here. So move 10 steps. And also, if you don't want to use the cat for this, you can change your sprite to something else, but just put it at the 0, 0. Let's put it at the 0, 0 position right here. And size 100, direction 90. But if you want to use a different sprite, go ahead and select your own and make your own sprite. But for now, we're just going to be using the cat right in here. So the scratch stage, as you can see by the numbers, is 480 steps across on the x-axis and 360 degrees up down on the y-axis here. So we can adjust the position like I showed you earlier here. But the first move block here is move steps. So think a little bit like how many steps are there in here? So because there's 480 x units, because minus 240 plus 240 is going to add both of those. It's 480. So there's 480 steps. So if you move just 10 steps, I'll click this one, it'll move 10 steps right there. So it'll move 10 units over there. So I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. If you to make this program run, you just click on it. Just click it. And it's just moving 10 steps right now. So that's the first one. And if you wanted to go backward, we have it go minus. So minus 10 steps. And now it's going backward. Right there. So you can also change this number. Let's say we wanted to go, it's currently at x20. Let's have it go all the way. So that'd be 220 steps. Click on it, goes all the way. How about having it go back to the middle? That'll be minus 240. Because the maximum x is 240. And right now the x is at 240. So we want to go back to 0, 0. We have to go minus there. So that's just straight, forward and backward. There's no up and down in this first thing. So play around with that a little bit, and then we'll go on to our next one. So I'm going to delete this one, and now our cat is all the way over there. So I'll bring it back to its home, 0, 0. Okay, so the next ones that we're going to use are the turn degrees ones. So turn degrees, and I know we explained this a little bit earlier with how many degrees. 90 degrees is a full turn, right? So this is only for direction. So we're going to turn this 90 degrees. It's going to go all the way over there. We're going to turn it 180, it's going to turn the other direction. We turn it 270, it's going to look up. If we turn it 360, nothing's really going to happen. It's just going to turn all the way in a circle. So let's have it turn right 15 degrees. As you can see, it's just going 15 degrees. And every time you do this, it will turn a certain amount. So let's have it turn 90 degrees. You can change this right here, 90. And now it's going 90 degrees. Now if we do minus 90 degrees, it will go the other way. Now there's another way to have it turn the other direction besides just putting a minus in there. You got it. You click this one right here, which is a turn left function. See, this one's turn right, this one's turn left. So, but if you put a minus, then it would just change the direction. So I'll put this back into a positive number. So right here, if we wanted to turn left, we just click it, turn left 15 degrees. And like everything else, we can also change the amount in here. How about turn 90 degrees? We want to turn right, then we can just put minus. So there's really no benefit or advantage to putting minus or just using the other block, but there's just two methods to kind of do the same thing here. And now the concept we introduced here is we can put two blocks together. So let's just put a move 10 steps, then turn 90 degrees. And now we're going to learn a block from the controls. And this will be the wait 1 second block. And this is just so you can see each individual thing happening. So again, the wait block is from the control. You just click on control over here and you get the wait block. For simplicity, we're just going to put a wait block between every part of it. And what a wait block is it just does nothing for 1 second, or you can change this to 2 seconds, whatever you want it to be right there. So let's have it move 10 steps, wait a second, and turn 90 degrees. So you can see it moved 10 steps, and then it turned 90 degrees. All right, how about some more blocks here? So The next two blocks here are go to position blocks. And go to random position, if you put go to random position, we just click on it, it will go to a random spot every time you click it. Okay, let's get our cat facing right up. Okay, go to random position, just anywhere, just is completely random. So this is probably pretty fun to just click over and just see the cat moving from place to place. Now you can also have it go to a certain position. And we talked about our coordinate plane here. So let's have it go to 0, 0. X0, Y0. And so you might ask, why don't I just change it over here? Well, in a program, if we're going to have a program with multiple steps, you can't just change it right here in the middle of a program. You actually have to use this. So let's say we had a program here. Let's have move 10 steps and then go to, let's say, how about X minus 100, Y minus 100. That'll be good. Then it goes right there. So this is a case where we'd have to use it because we can't just manually change it over here while it's in the middle of the program. So we have to use a block like this. And I'd also like to note that you can also have two sprites in here. So let's say we add another sprite. So let's just have, how about the diver? And then you can see here, when you click here, here's the programming stuff for the cat. Here's the programming stuff for the diver. So you can have multiple objects with each different code. You code them separately. So that's just in case you had that question. If you had multiple sprites, then you could code them separately. They each have separate code in here. So delete the diver again. Let's just go back to the cat. The next thing we're going to teach you is the glide. And the difference between glide and just going is that when you click glide, you actually see the cat moving. You actually physically see it moving. When I said go to random position, right? You don't see the cat, like sliding along and just moving, right? You can see the difference here. Glide. And you can increase the speed of the glide. If you increase the speed you wanted to go last time, see now it's moving faster. If you wanted to go slower, about 5 seconds. Now, wow, the cat is moving pretty slow there. So you can increase the speed. This is an inverse relationship. If you wanted to go faster, then you want to make the amount of seconds that it goes a lot smaller. You want to make it go slower, then you have to increase it here. And just watch that cat go very, very slowly. Okay, I'm not going to wait for it to finish. You can also have it glide to a certain position. And this is just like the go to and glide is it's the same thing, except it's just gliding. So you see you have both options here. For go to, you have to go to this specified position, and you also go to random position. You can also do the same thing with glide. You can glide to random position, or you can glide to a specific position right here. So let's say glide to 0, 0. And just like the glide to random position, you can change the speed here, or how long it takes. That's a little too long. It's already at 0, 0, so obviously nothing's happening. Let's say 240x y10. So just like that. And I can also reduce the speed. Let's see, 0.5 to, why don't we have it go to 100 minus 150. Now it's moving fast. So that's how it works. Okay, let's clean up some of the clutter here. You just click on it and hit delete. We'll delete that as well. And let's put our cat back at facing forward and at a 0, 0. Great. Okay, the next one is the point in direction. And we talked about it being before, right? It already shows you guide which way it's going to face. So let's have it point all the way to the left. There we go. Or we can have it point, let's say, how about 30, 30. And this is the same kind of question as with the go to block. Why not just change it here? Well, if you're running a program, let's say you wanted to go move 10 steps, and then we'll do wait 1 second, or let's do move 50 steps so you can see it a little better. And then point in direction 90. Not 300, 90. So now you can see why you need the point in direction block, because you can't just change it right here while the program is running. So another thing we can use here is point toward a mouse pointer. So I'm going to click and drag this and point this up here. So when you click on this, the cat should face my mouse, or if you're using a tablet, it will face toward wherever your finger was last touched on the tablet or a smartphone screen. So let's click it, and you can see the cat just went toward right here because that's where my mouse was last there. So if you can move it down here, the cat will point toward it. Move it here, point right there. So this is another thing that we could use right here. So there are more things here that we can also use. We can change x by 10. We're looking at the x coordinate here, right? It goes from x minus 240 to x positive 240. So you want to change x by 10, it will just go right by 10 steps. So click it. You can see it's moving like that. And we can also change it by a greater amount, let's say 50. Now you might say, what if you want to make this thing go left? Well, then you have to use a minus. Let's say minus 50. Then it will go to the left, 50. Just like that. So, if you want to go to the left, use minus. If you want to go to the right, use positive. Or just no minus sign there. That's positive. And you can also set x to something. So let's just say we want x to be, 0. It'll just move to 0. It won't change the y. It won't change how high up it is. It will just change the x to that point. And let's say we want, minus 220. We'll go there. Let's say if we wanted to go all the way to the right, which is, you can see there, the highest number on the right is 240. So set x 240 right there. So you can do the same thing with y, right? There's a change y by this amount, and there's a set y to that amount. You can see I'm putting them side by side with the x's. It's just the same thing, except you're altering y, which is how high it is. So let's move the cat to a more manageable position. And to make this a little bit easier to see, we'll make this 90. Okay, so let's say we set x to, 43. Sounds good. We'll move up. We want to change y by 20. We'll go up by that amount. Same thing with x. If you want to go the other direction, you have to use minus. If you want to go down, you have to use minus 20. Or let's say minus like 50. I think that's going to make it go almost all the way to the bottom. Yep. And if you wanted to go, so up, positive, no minus sign, down, negative, minus sign. So let's clear off some of the clutter here. Okay, so the next thing here is if on edge bounce. And this is not really applicable too much here because we need to go into more advanced programs where it's a little more applicable. Basically what it says is that if the cat is all the way on the edge, and if it's on the edge, it will bounce the other way. And I know it will do nothing right now if it's right here because it's not on the edge. You have to physically move it all the way to an edge, like almost all the way. Bounce. Yeah. So this is going to be more useful in later programs when you have like the cat moving by itself, and it'll make sense later. But that's just what this is. That if it's on the edge, see if right here on the edge, will bounce. Okay, and one more thing here is set rotation style. So if you set the rotation style to left to right, that means the cat will only go to the left and right, and it won't go to anything in between. So if we set rotation style left to right, and let's say we turn left 90 degrees or turn left 15 degrees, it's not going to do anything because in order to make it turn all the way, it has to be 180 degrees. So if we click a little bit, it will work like so. And it will basically say that you can still see the direction here is changing, but until it exceeds 180 in this aspect, it will not turn until that way. So it just means that it will only make the cat turn left and right. That's how you lock it into place. So if you want a full right or left turn, it's 180 degrees, and then if you just click this, it'll go back and forth. And you can also say don't rotate. It's just not, even though the direction is still changing down here, the cat is not moving because you just locked it in place. It's not going to rotate. It doesn't matter what number I put in here. I can put in 360. It's not going to work. I can put in 10. It's not going to work. And that's basically just this, what it is here. And all around means it will just turn like you're used to. It will just turn like without the set rotation style. So that's what set rotation style is. hang in there. Just a couple more things here. If you click on these, you'll see it'll just put up here what the position is. And if we put another sprite, say Amon, and you click it for him, it'll also be right there. So let's get rid of Amon. Okay, so, and there's another way you can just use these, and besides just allowing you to see where it is right there. I mean, I know you can get that information down here over here. Let's say you wanted to change its x position by its x position. So it means you drag x position into here. You can see circle goes in the circle. All right, Scratch is very linear. It's very nice. Everything fits, right? See how that fits? Just looks like it fits. So the circle looks like it fits in there. So change x position by x position. What this means is that right now, or let's make the x position 20. If it's going to change the x position by its x position, that means it's going to change its x position by 20. So we'll click it. Now the x position is 40 because 20 plus 20 is 40. Now if we click this again, how much is it going to change by? It's going to change by 40 because that's what the x position right now. So do the math. What is it going to go to next? 40 plus 40 is 80. And do it again, it's going to go to 160. So it's a pretty cool feature in here. You can change the x position by, and eventually it's just going to get too far there. It's just it can't go any further. So that's the same thing with the y position. And change, or yeah, you could also change x by its y position. That means since the y position is not moving in this case, it's just going to keep on changing it by 3. But those are some cool things that you can do in there. You can also change x by its direction. The direction is 88. And you can plug these in for any of these. So you can glide. You can have the seconds that it glides make it the x position. So let's say, let me get a smaller number. Glide x position seconds to random position. X position is 8, so it means it will take 8 seconds for it to go to its random position. So those are some really cool things. You can plug these in anywhere. You can put x's y position, and then you can do x's y's direction. It's really cool in terms of different things you can do here. Just have fun playing around with it. There are a lot of things you can do with these, but don't worry about that if that didn't make too much sense. Either watch it again, or it's not that crucial of a concept there. So you can connect as many blocks as possible. So let's say you can do like a synthesis here. So let's say move 10 steps, and then glide 1 second to random position. Say wait another second. Let's say turn 15 degrees. So you can do as many of these as you want. And you don't have to put wait 1 second between. It just makes it easier so you can see as everything's happening. So if there's some things in this video that did not make sense, don't worry. I mean, tomorrow or whenever you have a live session with your instructor will answer any questions you have and kind of show you more of what I just talked about here. So thank you for listening. I hope you had fun and hope you followed along. And between now and the time with your teacher, feel free to just use these motion blocks, play around with the different stages you have, different sprites, kind of have fun with this. Scratch is in my opinion, really fun thing to kind of use and go through and just look at all these cool things. And eventually we'll teach you everything down here. So don't fret, we'll get there eventually. But right now we're just starting with the motion blocks, and we'll make it a little more challenging, a little bit more fun as every week goes on. All right, have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching.